regarding all the smoke that we're having right now here, guys, you know, I'm sure everybody has questions of it and what I think about smoke taint. Well, it's just a big wait and see. The thing about smoke, it's more, if it's just cinders and stuff, or soot, if you will, on the fruit itself, that's really short-lived. It gets all knocked off in the processing and just kind of, if it does get into the fermented wine, it settles out. What we're worried about is if the plant tissue itself starts metabolizing the smoke. And so if this, I would be a lot more concerned had these fires been occurring end of June and July, August, so the plants had a lot of time to metabolize the smoke into the plants themselves. But as it is, you know, the plants are kind of beginning their shutdown mode, and so they're not taking in as much, as, if you will, and so hopefully, fingers crossed, but it's one of those things where when I'm assessing the fruit and when to harvest it, I'm taking the strategy and approach that I'm not going to let that fruit hang out there for a long time. I'm not looking for extra hang time. And quite frankly, the quality of the fruit that we're seeing this year doesn't look like it's going to call for it. The acids look really good right now. The big problem is and was the sugar ripening before the phenolics. So I think we're going to perhaps, depends on the vineyard and the varietal, but we will see some high brix, in other words, high sugar wines this year, which translates into higher alcohols. But the balance in the fruit is looking good, and I'm pleased with everything. It's really fun to see this year. I think across the board, I'm seeing smaller berry size and smaller clusters and lower yields. There's only one vineyard where that's not happening, and that's Stillwater Creek. We're seeing just regular average size berries there, and average yields. But a lot of that is determined by what the vineyards do, the vineyard managers do the previous year. So the yields really are set up the year before. So towards, you know, like in July, August, and so that's beginning of August, that's really when the next year's crop is really determined. And so a lot of it's what the vineyard managers are doing and or not doing, if you will. So Stillwater Creek kind of anticipated some of this stuff and took some measures anyway to try to increase the yields a little bit, because Ed was anticipating some lower yields for this coming year, just seeing what things were doing last year in the vineyards. So, but the one thing that's I see with smaller berries, we as winemakers, what we really like about that is just like barrels, okay? The larger the volume, the less surface area per amount of juice inside there is, if you will. So berries, the smaller the berries, the more phenolic compounds we'll have as a percentage of the juice. Does that make any sense? Most of the color and flavor in red wines, it comes from the skins themselves. So if you have smaller berries, you're going to have usually more color and more intense flavor, because there's a lot more skin to juice ratio, okay? Stillwater Creek, the one thing that I see there, which is really cool, is the skins, even though their yields are, I think, right on, spot on as far as average yields, their skins are really thick this year. I've never seen, to tell you the truth, I've never seen skins this thick. And again, it's the same thing, you know, the thicker skins, the more phenolic compounds we'll have in it. So that is really cool. And I was busting up the samples the other day, the first samples that I got out of there, juice samples last week, man. I tell you, this was my first observation, just crushing them up in my hands. Gosh, man, these skins are so thick. I haven't seen it like that. So, as a winemaker anyway, that brings joy to my eyes. So it's so overall fruit quality this year, I think, is going to be excellent. And but what the smoke does is, to be determined. And so I wish I could be a better forecaster of it, but smoke taint, we're all learning more and more about smoke taint. And so